Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the bull of the bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the program you're watching Inside Blockchain live on Crypto TV Plus. I am Tony Obiaju. Over the next 1 hour, we will be bringing you key discussions around recent trends and stories affecting us in different ways. We will be speaking to Ugochukwu Aronu from Lagos as we take a critical look at Binance Smart Chain and what makes this ideal protocol for DeFi project. Basically, then later on the program, we will be joined by Pretty Kubyane from South Africa to discuss a key issue around food security and financial inclusion. Now, before we begin the program, let us take a look at what has played out in the crypto market over the last 7 days and the past 1 hour.
The crypto market in recent weeks has seen record investment inflow. According to a credible source, large-scale cryptocurrency funds saw an inflow of $429 million, which is second to the largest ever weekly inflow of $468 million 3 weeks ago. This recent activity has seen Bitcoin regain its bullish momentum, with the price of one Bitcoin breaching $55,000 to reach an all-time high of $57,700. This resulted to Bitcoin's market value reaching a milestone of $1 trillion. Bitcoin's versatile rival Ethereum also hit a new all-time high yesterday when it crossed $2,000. The price has since corrected, sliding down to around $1,900. What triggered this recent surge and new all-time highs seems to be more interest from institutional investors. Rick Ryder, the chief investment manager of the world's largest asset management company, BlackRock, with over $8.67 trillion worth of assets, recently announced that the company has now started to dabble in Bitcoin. Crypto evangelist and MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor also announced a debt sell-off of $1.05 billion in debt securities to fund further investment into Bitcoin. That would add yet more value to MicroStrategy's 70,000 Bitcoins, currently valued at around $3.7 billion.
Okay, and that's for Bitcoin. Let's now look at what's happening, to the altcoins. Binance token BNB jumped over regular top 10 cryptos, the likes of Polkadot, Cardano, and Tether over the weekend to become the third largest coin by market capitalization. Now, Polkadot's DOT is now worth $38. Cardano's ADA trading at $1. Uniswap's Uni also up and trading at $27, having fallen from $31. Since the launch of Binance Smart Chain in September of 2020, it has demonstrated that it is arguably one of, if not the best, blockchain for decentralized finance and DApp development. What is Binance Smart Chain? What is it trying to accomplish? And what makes it the ideal protocol, for DeFi projects? Ugochukwu Aronu, the CEO and founder of Xend Finance, joins us now on the program to give us answers, to these questions. He joins us on Skype from Lagos, Nigeria. Ugochukwu, good to have you, on the program. Can you help us understand what Binance Smart Chain is and what it represents, basically?
Yeah, hello, Tony. Yeah, so basically, what the Binance Smart Chain is it's actually a blockchain, right? Now, but what makes it quite different is that it enables people to write applications or to deploy smart contracts on this blockchain. Like every other blockchain, it's a network of decentralized nodes, right? Or decentralized computers. Computers are scattered in different parts of the world that maintain a central ledger or a central database. Okay. So, but Binance Smart Chain now adds a second layer that enables people to actually build software called decentralized applications on the on the blockchain. Yeah. So that's basically what the Binance Smart Chain is. And one other thing that makes it really interesting is that it's EVM compatible, meaning that it's Ethereum virtual machine compatible. It supports existing code base that runs on Ethereum blockchain. So before the Binance Smart Chain, we currently have Ethereum. So most of the implementations from Binance Smart Chain were actually borrowed from Ethereum blockchain, but then improved. Okay, so Ethereum blockchain enables people to deploy applications or software on the blockchain. Yeah, so Binance was able to adopt that on the Binance Smart Chain and also provided support for the Ethereum blockchain. So existing developers can easily just move their code base from the Ethereum blockchain into the Binance Smart Chain. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, Ugochukwu, I know that there's no way people, especially players within the space, can explain some of this protocols without going into the technical areas or aspect of it. So I would just like probably if you would help us maybe take it a little bit further or deeper, to help us understand how does this particular smart chain work?
Okay, yeah. So you're very correct. Actually, it's quite hard to explain this without trying to be technical, but I'll try my best to make it very easy. Okay, so how the Binance Smart Chain works basically is there are probably three things I'm going to use to try and explain it. Okay. One is consensus. Two is should I say low transaction fees, and then three is probably EVM, Ethereum virtual machine compatibility that I mentioned previously. Earlier. But let me start with consensus. Right, so I think consensus basically just means from the English word consensus means, okay, agreeing to something. So how the blockchain works is that you have multiple, now I'm talking about the blockchain, not the Binance Smart Chain generally, because it's a blockchain. Yeah, so how the blockchain works is that you have multiple computers in different parts of the world owned by different people that don't know themselves, right? And then these multiple computers are able to talk to each other, right? And when they talk to each other, they maintain a central a database. Each of them has a copy of the same database that every other computer has. So now what this does is that it helps to prevent things like hacking or maybe giving one person full control over the entire system. So that's why they say that the blockchain is decentralized. Actually, the decentralization comes from the conceptual stage or the concept from the design. Okay, now what the Binance Smart Chain, how it works is, or basically how the entire blockchain works is, it enables consensus. So, but because for these computers to actually talk to themselves, right, they need to agree. That's where the consensus comes in. So they need to agree on something. Say, for example, I send one Bitcoin, for example, right, from my wallet to your wallet. So what that means is that one Bitcoin, all the computers in the network need to agree that first, Ugochukwu has one Bitcoin. And then when I now send the money to you, they also register that, oh, Tony has received this one Bitcoin. So this thing happens really fast, right, across multiple computers in different parts of the world. Now, but for those computers to agree that I have one Bitcoin, right, they have to reach consensus. So they need to come together to say, okay, everybody check your database. Does Ugochukwu actually have one Bitcoin? And everybody says yes, or majority of the computers say yes. And immediately they say yes, yeah, they transfer goes through, right? I'm trying to put it in an easier way. Now, what now makes Binance Smart Chain different when it comes to consensus is how the consensus works. So for Bitcoin, which everybody knows, it uses something called proof of work, where they tell you that, oh, you need to have very huge computers, have a lot of electricity, bandwidth, and your computers do so much work. In fact, a normal computer can really engage in the consensus mechanism or algorithm of Bitcoin. So what Binance Smart Chain and the guys at Binance did was, instead of having very expensive infrastructure to enable consensus, right? So what they decided to do was to implement a different concept of consensus called proof of stake, right? So now proof of stake makes it, one, very easy and very fast to reach consensus and inexpensive, right? But what happens here is that to prevent people from cheating in the network, they need to deposit a certain amount of cryptocurrency, in this case BNB, that's the Binance coin, right? That's for the Binance Smart Chain. So they deposit a certain amount of BNB, right, into the network, and then they now confirm transactions, right? There's still much more well, I mean, I'm trying not to go too deep, but then there are different ways people are selected to confirm transactions. But the advantage of the proof of stake, right, is that when you actually have staked a certain amount of money and you confirm a transaction or you mine a block, what now happens is you earn rewards, right? But you cannot cheat the network because the reward you're earning is less than the amount you have staked on the platform. Now, if you do something that is malicious, you lose a part of your stake or every part of, or the whole stake, right? So that's basically what the guys at Binance Smart Chain did, at Binance did, to create a network that still has the same security or even is much more secure than the existing Bitcoin network, but then it uses a different consensus algorithm. Which is proof of stake. Yes, exactly. So the other thing about the Binance Smart Chain, or how it works, the second part of how it works, from my understanding, will be transaction speed. Now, most of these things are tied to the first point I mentioned, which is proof of stake, right? So on the Binance Smart Chain, you have about less than 3 seconds actually for a block to be mined. So in layman terms, it's like, let's say I send you money now, right? If I send you, for example, BNB or Bitcoins, in less than 3 seconds, that transaction that block should have been mined. So at least you have one confirmation saying that, okay, Ugochukwu has sent you this money. Now, if you compare this with the Ethereum blockchain, or let's compare it with the Bitcoin blockchain, you realize that Bitcoin can take you up to 10 minutes, right, for confirmations to come in. Okay. And also, because this is actually because of the proof of stake consensus mechanism, that is what has made this happen. Also, fees are now very low. Now, because anytime you perform a transaction, whether on the Bitcoin blockchain or on the Binance Smart Chain, or on most blockchains, actually, you pay a fee, right? Because there are people that actually ensure that the transaction is confirmed, right? In the Binance Smart Chain case, they are called validators. Validators, yeah. Right? In the Bitcoin case, they are called miners, right? Yeah. So now, those fees that you pay, for example, in Bitcoin or Ethereum and Bitcoin use proof of work, right? The fees are extremely high. For example, now on the Bitcoin block, on the Ethereum blockchain, you can see fees of over $50, $70 for a transaction, especially when there is a lot of things, a lot of traffic in the protocol, right? But on Binance Smart Chain, you see fees less than 10 cents, right? Or thereabout. So things are very low. There is a considerable difference. There is an obvious difference between the fees on the Binance Smart Chain and then on the Ethereum blockchain. So this, and then the last point I wanted to talk about was the Evm compatibility, right? So Evm compatibility, like I explained before, means that you can actually take existing code base that runs on the Ethereum blockchain and deploy it on the Binance Smart Chain, and it works really well. Because and why the Binance guys did this is that, of course, they are really smart people. the Ethereum blockchain has been there for a lot of, for over, say, for example, like 7 years. I need to get the numbers right? And a lot of people have been building decentralized apps, DeFi projects on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay. Now you have a lot of developers, a lot of liquidity, a lot of things happening on the Ethereum blockchain. But the Binance guys created the Binance Smart Chain. And in order not to make development or, have that steep learning curve of learning maybe another programming language and all that, what they just did was they used the underlying compile. I'm trying to make this very. And they use the underlying technology, or what the underlying system basically in this case is a virtual machine, right? Okay. That enables the Ethereum network to understand what code you've written. So they use that virtual machine design to design the one that runs on the Binance Smart Chain. So what it basically means is that when you write your code on the Ethereum blockchain, you can still take that same code when it gets compiled, from the programming, from the high-level language to your VM language, that's a virtual machine language. The one on Binance Smart Chain actually understands it. So it makes it very compatible. So developers don't need to stress themselves. Maybe they've written code years back on Ethereum blockchain, which is the most popular, right, for writing decentralized finance apps or decentralized apps. Instead of stressing those developers, they can just take existing code base and drop it on the Binance Smart Chain, and they will enjoy the benefits of the Binance Smart Chain, low fees, quick, very fast transactions, and of course the consensus algorithm implemented to enable like high level of security and all that.
Thank you so much, Ugochukwu. Despite the technical nature of these things, you were able to help us drive home some few points there to help us understand, how the Binance Smart Chain works. Now, Ugochukwu, there is this angle to, the Binance Smart Chain that has sort of, stirred up a conversation among speculators, or let's say crypto enthusiasts, those people just trying to understand Binance Smart Chain. This question I want to ask you, is Binance Smart Chain a decentralized finance or a centralized finance?
Yeah, so it's basically Binance Smart Chain is a protocol, is a network for building decentralized applications, right? So when you talk about centralized finance, okay, centralized finance is just like the kind of things you get with banks or some crypto exchanges, right? Support, and it's called CeFi, CEFI. That's centralized finance. So centralized finance means that there is a central entity, right? There is a company or a project that has full control over how you perform some financial operations such as savings, lending, and all that. So, and in centralized finance, how, let's say you're saving, for example, how they pay interest, right, to the people who have saved in a centralized finance platform is when you save your money, they use your money, they invest it in some protocol, or they give it to market makers. Market makers trade with your money when they earn interest, and then that interest is paid back to you. Usually with centralized financial systems, you have fixed annualized percentage yields, which is like fixed APYs, right? So it's just like the bank. The bank operates CeFi, centralized finance, basically. Now, but the Binance Smart Chain is actually not for centralized financial system development. Like the Binance Smart Chain is a blockchain on its own, right? Built, it's already decentralized by nature. Do you understand? So because it's already decentralized by nature, I mean, it can't have a centralized financial system running on it, but it's already decentralized by nature, meaning that it supports decentralized financial projects, so DeFi projects. And when you're deploying code on the Binance Smart Chain, just like I mentioned before, once you just deploy the code, it goes to all the computers, right? It spreads across the network. It's not just one, it doesn't belong to one person, right? So it's managed by people in different spaces and all that. So that's, we can't really, it's not correct to say that the Binance Smart Chain is centralized finance, right? Actually, the correct thing to probably say is that the Binance Smart Chain, not probably, the correct thing to say is that the Binance Smart Chain supports DeFi projects, because the Binance Smart Chain in itself is a decentralized system. Yeah, but you see centralized finance in some projects, maybe some crypto exchanges. So Binance as an exchange has centralized finance, but it does not, the Binance exchange is not a place where you deploy DeFi projects. You go to the Binance Smart Chain to do that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that point there would have probably those people that are engaging in this conversation, we just have them probably pick a side right now, or maybe have a better understanding of it, how that for centralized, you can find centralized finance projects on Binance, all right, the Binance exchange, as you've mentioned. Why for DeFi projects, all right, you can find that on the Binance Smart Chain, and that is the essence of why it is created. Which now brings me to this part, Ugochukwu, before I let you go on the program. Personally, what makes it the ideal protocol for DeFi projects, especially like the one you're leading yourself at Xend Finance?
Okay, yeah. So what makes Binance Smart Chain the ideal protocol is just because of these things I mentioned. One is very fast block time, right? Immediately you process a transaction, it goes like really quickly, and then the transaction fees are very low. Now, for a DeFi project like ours, right, to be honest, like the first version of our project was built on the Ethereum blockchain, right? Because it was built, we even started building it before Binance Smart Chain went live, okay, in September. So we built the first version on the Ethereum blockchain, which is actually going to be launched on mainnet. But we now realize that, hold on, for you to really scale, okay, for you to reach a very high level of adoption, Ethereum blockchain will not accept, let's say, a very large number of, let me put it in this way, let's say a very large number of transactions without having very high fees, So, and for us in Africa, money is a problem, right? People don't really have so much passive income as the kind of people you see in the US or in Europe or in some parts of Asia, let's say China, right? Or maybe South Korea. So one of the things we're doing is we need to ensure that our users or the people who use our protocol here can access this protocol at very low fees, negligible fees, even with their low income here. So that's why the Binance Smart Chain is ideal for DeFi projects, especially DeFi projects that target Africans. Yeah, so the low fees is extremely, extremely important. That's like, for me, that's the selling point, for the Binance Smart Chain, especially for people here in Africa, and the ability to scale. So it's not as if it's not just like the Ethereum blockchain when you have a lot of transactions, fees go high. No, even if you have a lot of transactions on the Binance Smart Chain, fees are still very low. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned low fees right there and scalability. One of the reasons why you feel that the Binance Smart Chain is the ideal protocol for DeFi projects. Thank you so much, Ugochukwu Aronu, for giving us your time this morning. Do have a blessed week.
All right, thanks, man. Thank you very much, Tony. All right.
Great. Still to come, Pretty Kubyane from South Africa will be joining us on the program as we discuss a key issue around food security and financial inclusion. We will also be speaking to our East Africa correspondent who is on ground in Kenya, all right, to get more stories and also get an update on Beats Lotto Africa this week. So stay with us. We will be right back just after this short break.
Hi, this is Cynthia Petian with AWS Mining.
I'm Alexia Hefty-Rossier.
I'm Anand Mohan from Technobrain.
This is Anu Bardwaj from Women Investing, Women Digital.
And you are watching...
You're watching
Crypto TV Plus.
Crypto TV Plus.
Crypto TV Plus.
Crypto TV Plus. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. In case you're just joining in, this is Inside Blockchain Live on Crypto TV Plus. Now, we began with taking a look at what has played out, all right, in the crypto market over the last 7 days and the past 1 hour. We then moved to speak, all right, with Ugochukwu Aronu, who is the CEO of Xend Finance, as we discussed Binance Smart Chain and what makes it the ideal protocol for DeFi projects. We now move to South Africa, where we will be speaking with Pretty Kubyane as we take on a very critical issue around food security, financial inclusion, and the role of the blockchain technology in all of this. Pretty good to have you join us on the program. Let me quickly point out some facts here. While Africa, right, holds more than 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, the continent's share of global agricultural production remains low. Now, the agricultural productivity averages 300 to 500 kilogram per hectare, as compared to 2.5 tons per hectare in the United States, for example. Can you first give us a sense, of how agriculture affects the various African economies?
Hi, Tony. Thank you for having me. There's three ways that the agriculture industry contributes to the African economy. The first one is job creation and sustenance. We have about 48% of our population relying on the agriculture. One, they live on sustenance farming, and the other way they work within the agricultural or food supply chain. And the second one is trade. We have about 39 million farmers in Africa. So it's a community of 33 million that are small-scale farmers, usually owned by families, and the remaining 6 million is commercial farmers. And lastly, we make about 15% of the GDP through the agricultural business across many African countries.
Okay, fantastic. Now, to what extent, all right, do centralized supply chains contribute or worsen the situation of, low agricultural productivity?
The disadvantage to that one is barriers to entry. When you look at the regulatory programs that exist, you can see they regulate small-scale farmers just outside the mainstream economy, and then they leave them on the side of being fragmented, the access to farming equipment and all of that. The second part is monopolies. Sometime this year, we compared notes with one of the mass food marketing retailers in South Africa, and he was taking us through how in the 70s there was bread wars. What happened is a group of mainstream bakers, they came together, raised the prices of bread, and got the government to penalize anybody whom in their retail they are not raising the prices. At that time, South African families really relied, bread was a stable diet. So conspiring on raising of prices meant that certain families can no longer afford to buy bread, and they could go home hungry. And the last part is violation of human rights. East Africa, for example, the farming of cocoa has been known to have a number of human rights violation, child labor, and closer to home in the Southern Africa region, some of the wines that we enjoy, they've been known to pay their employees with a bottle of wine instead of paying them an average wage. And us as consumers, we are locked outside where we can't really see what happens within the supply chain. So we can't tell whether we are drinking an ethical wine or ethical coffee, where how it was made, we know it, and who made it, and wonder under what circumstances did they are they not harming the environment? Are they not abusing their labor forces, their labor people? So all of that kind of data is centralized around only few players, and it's not possible for the rest of the participants in the supply chain to have an access to that.
Fantastic. I understand that all of these, data are now made available. They are made available to a central authority or a central entity, and that brings me to the point, where we throw blockchain into this whole mix, and looking at some of the how blockchain can step into these areas and sort of probably provide solutions. What do you think are the potential solutions, if any, to agriculture's or Africa's agricultural crisis?
So the first solution, we have to look at improving our operations, like availing farming equipment for the small-scale farmers, improving their participation within the supply chain, also kind of democratizing the farming knowledge. If you look at the previous farming generation, they were passing their knowledge from generation to generation, and now we need more farmers. So there's that big knowledge gap. That's why we see a number about 45% of food being lost before it gets to the shelves, because the knowledge of farming, the equipment, and the utilization of smart farming as well. And the second solution will be around optimizing our supply chain, transparency, so that we have see-through supply chain, minimizing inequalities within supply chain, and the last one is improving financial inclusion for the small-scale farmers, so that they can be able to contribute and participate better, because currently their lands are not registered, so they don't have a leverage of assets to get financial services, for example, in order to scale their farming and produce more and produce better.
Pretty, is blockchain the final solution?
Well, blockchain on its own is not a silver bullet. We often say that the community is as critical as the technology to facilitate trade between the communities. So from governments to and everybody within the supply chain needs participation. However, one of the most contribution that blockchain can do, for example, we spoke about improving farming operations. The blockchain technology can avail a platform of which the community that belong in that platform can tokenize assets. We can see 10 families, 100 families owning same assets instead of owning assets individually. So now they put their monies together, tokenize their assets, and being able to have farming assets on demand instead of owning it by themselves, but they will have that access. And the second one is that supply chain. Blockchain is a very great collaboration tool, because right now what we're seeing, all these small-scale farmers are scattered everywhere, but when they belong on one platform, think about 1,000 farmers being on one platform, having a collective, it's a collective bargaining tool. They can have collective production output, then they can compete with the commercial farmer to be able to have their produce being represented on mainstream retail. And lastly, within the financial inclusion, their land, if it's tokenized, it now becomes an asset. Their equipment becomes an asset that they can leverage to get more financing. And by default of blockchain being a ledger, an immutable ledger, they produce those financial records that they need to prove that their business is sustainable. And also when they are a collective, they can secure bigger contracts, because that is key as well, to be trusted with more investments to be able to expand.
Okay, beautiful. Now, I believe, as you've just highlighted, how the blockchain technology, can solve this solution, or this challenges rather. That is what you are doing at Coronet blockchain. Just before I let you go right there, Pretty, can you just help us touch, some of the things that we are seeing happen within the Coronet blockchain?
So the Coronet blockchain, our first use case is within the beauty sector, but the similar capabilities are being able to be evolved to take care of agriculture. The first thing we do is to ensure the quality of products from the source, whether it was a seed or it was a material that we avail for the product to be made, the process of making the product according to what makes the product to qualify as the quality standard that is needed, whether it's a tomato, whether it's a hair product, or any other kind of a product where quality means safety, means we need to certify the quality. And the second thing, we prioritize access to markets, making sure that small-scale farmers or salons have an access to the African market. Like on the salon side, we've got 24 million consumers. So we are building single platform of transaction to ensure that they immediately, if you want to start this kind of a business, immediately you tap into the access to market, you tap into good product, and all you do is to just manage your business instead of spending loads of money going to source products, because there is no technology or scientific way of telling that the product, it is what it says it is, what is outside the box is what is inside the box. So the same principles applies in agriculture, they applies in minerals, they apply in pharmaceuticals as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Preeti, for speaking with us on the program. At this point, I have to let you go. All right, let's now speak to our East Africa correspondent who is on ground in Kenya as well, you know, to get more stories. Frank, good to have you join me on the program from Kenya. First of all, tell us, how is the weather in Kenya this morning?
It's a bit cold at the moment, but it's good because, well, it's February, and mostly in February we usually have very, very hot temperatures. So having particular weather, because it rained a bit last night, is a good sign. It's a good sign.
Frank, I see you're looking a little bit dashing this morning. You chose to go with the shades, and I'm seeing that Beats Lato hoodie right there. You're looking all pepped up.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So you know, as usual, I'm also looking forward to talk to you, Tony, and also to just share what's happening in the space in our region, and also about, of course, Beats Lato as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Now that you've brought that up, tell us, what's the latest happening, or that has happened in Kenya?
Well, I think the most outstanding news that we got, I think a day or two, was Niger Crypto adding Kenya shillings pair, which means that now, you know, people who are trading using Kenya shillings can be able to very actively just be able to on-ramp Kenya shillings onto the Niger Crypto exchange. So that pretty much seems to be the most sort of outstanding news in as far as crypto is concerned in the region.
Yeah, brilliant. I was also following that development from our end here, and Niger Crypto, which is owned and run by the founder himself, Chiagozie Iwo, has just, you know, released that and made it possible for traders in Kenya to be able to trade using the Niger Crypto exchange, which is one of, let's say, sort of the best news that can be coming out, especially from Kenya at this time. Now, this brings me to Beats Lato. Frank, tell us, what's the latest development with Beats Lato Africa?
Yeah, so we have some exciting news. From today, we are launching a new giveaway, a new campaign, whereby we are getting some of our affiliates to get people to make deals on the platform. And if you happen to do deals, if you just manage to open a deal on the platform, you stand a chance to win up to $100. So the more deals that you make, basically it's the higher your chances of winning the $100. But then that's the $100 is the prize money for the person who makes the most deals. For the other 9 people who will also be able to make deals on the exchange, they will be able to also stand a chance of winning something at the end of the campaign. So this is a campaign that starts today until Sunday, this coming Sunday, and then we'll be able to make announcements of the winners on 1st of March. That's next month. So for more details, I'd urge our users and our viewers to basically just follow our social media accounts for more details and information. Facebook, Beats Lato Africa, Telegram, Beats Lato A Chat, and of course Twitter, Beats Lato A. So new campaign, new giveaway open to all our users.
Okay, so you've heard that from Frank yourself. You can participate in this particular campaign, and you stand a chance of winning yourself $100 right there, just by participating in a campaign. And if you've been following, all right, the program, especially Beats Lato Africa from last year, especially, you would know that this particular crypto exchange has been consistent, all right, on Inside Blockchain. And when we get to this segment, you know, you're always open to the opportunity of winning yourself something. All you just need to do is carry out your trades using Beats Lato, either the web or the Telegram, which is interesting and a mind-blowing option right there. Let's just, before I let you go, Frank, are we expecting anything coming from Beats Lato? Any addition apart from the giveaways? I'm talking about in terms of developments within the exchange itself. Are we expecting any new release or launch of a new crypto or addition or listing?
Yeah, so we've been getting a lot of news from our community, basically feedback about adding new cryptocurrencies, considering how much vibrant, you know, the ecosystem has been over the past couple of weeks. So we possibly could be adding some more cryptocurrencies. And at the same time, our community should also expect the mobile app to be released before the end of this quarter. So those two are things that people should be waiting for.
Okay, we are going to keep our eyes open and looking out for that one. Thank you so much, Frank, for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Tony, and have a great week ahead.
Yeah, and you too, We're looking forward to more surprises as we can see Bitcoin and, you know, most of the altcoins surprising us this week. Let's look out for what's going to be playing out in the crypto space this week.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, and that will be all on today's program. You can get more market updates and all the happenings captured within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency on our website, www.cryptotvplus.com. You can also follow us across our social media platforms at CryptoTV+ to get daily info on our programs. If you'd like to stay glued or follow, let's say, my updates and what's happening within my own space, you can follow me at Tony Obiajiru. Thank you for staying with us. I am Tony Obiajiru, and I'll see you next week. Until then, keep trading and keep taking profits.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.